tell you what, and I know it's not much of a spoiler, but the end of the movie where the credits.
That's the scariest part of the entire movie.
Oh, yeah.
That is the scariest part of the entire movie.
Oh, for sure.
When she starts like crying.
Yeah. So glad you're home.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, she may be insane.
Oh, she's totally insane.
Yes.
I mean, the actress may be insane.
Insane. Uh-huh. So overall, was Pearl a little bit better? No.
I wouldn't say it was better. It was just different.
No,
Really?
I think it's better.
Completely different feel to it.
Because strangely, I felt for Pearl in this movie.
Yeah.
I did up to a point.
Okay.
Which was about 10 minutes in when she killed the goose.
No, I mean, I still felt for her, like, because it's 1918. Mental health is not like a...
No.
There's no awareness of it.
No.
Mm-hmm.
And she obviously needs to be on some meds.
Right? I can't imagine the number of serial killers that were around during those times getting away with stuff just because...
Mental health was not a big...
There's
nobody
also no
knew.
Police force or...
Right? If someone went missing during the Depression...
Well, I mean...
Nobody went looking for them.
They just come up to the house. Oh, they passed away. They're buried in the pasture.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's it. There's no...
Okay, cool. How'd they die? Well, heart attack.
Heart attack. Here you go. Don't have to report it to anyone.
It's only 12.
We're good.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So
I'll stick with modern technology.
I think that I love how this movie was shot.
I do too.
And again, they did a great job with making it like it almost has a cartoon feel to it.
Yeah. Yep.
Because you
had
go
a very Stepford wife.
Well, you go from
feel for
X that is so gritty and everything is falling apart and it is nasty to where everything is perfect in this movie.
Yes.
Right. The barn being as bright red as it could be.
The grass, everything.
From the opening shot
is perfect in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, welcome to the Movies with Chill podcast. I am your host, Chill. Today we'll be reviewing Pearl, an extraordinary origin story. Yeah. So
gotcha.
I'm glad you put that down. I was about to Google it. Yeah. I thought that was a fun subtitle.
I agree.
Pearl is a psychological horror slasher film directed by Ty West and written by Mia Goth and Ty West. Based on X, also by Ty West.
I think I disagree with this being a slasher movie.
Okay.
I wouldn't call it a slasher movie.
No, it's I mean, because...
Psychological horror?
Yes, but like, the kills in this are not slasher kills.
No.
Okay.
They're passion kills.
Yeah.
To where the kills in X are slasher.
Yeah.
Right.
In the eyeball just to be in the eyeball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Faces getting blown off, hands getting chopped, like it is. Yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
What kind of horror would that be then? Do you know?
Psychological thriller.
Psychological horror thriller.
Yeah. Comedy,
fine.
drama.
Yeah. Starring Mia Goth, David Cornswet, Tandi Wright. Right?
Is it Cornswet?
Is it?
I don't know. Cornswet?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Sure.
The projectionist.
Tandi Wright, Matthew Sunderland, Emma Jenkins-Puro, and Alistair Sewell.
I don't know.
Set during the end of World War I, Pearl, the daughter of German farmers, dreams of being a big star. Today, as always, I am joined by David and Lee. How you boys doing tonight?
What's up?
Oi, oi.
Oi, oi. Oh, yeah. Definitely on the last one. We got a
yeah. I mean, good.
Howard, why don't you love me anymore?
Because look in the mirror.
Look at my heart.
I can't take it anymore.
Well, I can't believe that Pearl even wants anything to do with him, with her being so, like, what is it?
Listen, Pearl
Gross?
Obsessed with looks.
Right?
Pearl just wanted a little loving in that
She just
movie.
wanted to be loved.
She had the guy in the basement. I guarantee
did.
something was happening there. I'm telling you.
So if you haven't
that
watched,
thing did not look right.
if you haven't watched our review on X, go check that out.
It did not look right. I'm no expert,
I'm
but
just
I'm pretty
saying.
sure it's not supposed to look like
I'm
that.
pretty sure it's not supposed to look like that.
You guys have any recommendations any new movies you watched this
Did
week?
Did you just have a
Yeah, I did.
stroke?
I haven't watched anything new since last week.
I have. I started
Lee, I told you to
Righteous Gemstones.
Oh yeah, how's that?
I'm on season 1, and
It's great.
It's funny. Yeah.
It's good. Okay, here's my bitch about it.
Okay.
just the random dicks in it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's HBO.
I know it is, and it's Danny
McBride.
McBride.
Yeah.
But it makes me question things. Like, I'm like, why? Why?
Has Walter Goggins showed up yet?
No, I don't think so.
Oh my God, Walter Goggins' character on this show.
Great.
It's a sight to behold.
I'm like on episode 2 of season 2.
Speaking of sight to behold.
I mean, I do like all the characters in Righteous Gemstone. The sister's probably my favorite. I think that she's the wittiest. It kills me.
Yeah. I like that Danny McBride is still playing the exact same character in every movie he ever does. It's just great.
I wish I could remember the line of her. What's her name? Judy?
Oh, I don't.
I think the sister's name is Judy. She's talking to her fiance, and he says something. She yells at him, reaches over, and pinches his nipple, and it just. There's no point. It just killed me. I laughed for a long time.
You feel bad
over
for
that.
in that whole show is that husband.
Yeah. Oh my God! Yeah.
Poor guy.
I've changed. I'm a different man now. I'm hardened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. I took the family to go drive-in theater, and we saw Furiosa.
How was it?
Oh yeah,
it was fun.
Was
it? A lot of fun.
I was going to go see it with my dad, but I didn't have any time.
Yeah.
Comparable to Fury Road? Or?
I would not say that. It's a different movie because Fury Road, like we were saying, is all action, and it's good action.
Right.
This is a really good revenge story.
Ooh, I like revenge stories.
Yeah, really good revenge story.
Dope.
And same way where I would not say that there's a first, second, and third act. There's actually chapters in it, and each chapter has its own arc.
Okay, that's
throughout.
cool.
So,
well, Anaya Joy Taylor,
Anya Taylor-Joy.
Whatever. I love her.
Or Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yeah, Taylor-Joy.
Yeah. So here's the weird thing about that is that there's a kid actor who's in it for the first half of the movie, and then Anya Taylor-Joy takes over. But the way that they transitioned it is that they subtly would CGI the girl's face throughout the story to where the longer she's on screen, the more she looks like Anya Taylor-Joy.
What did they make Anya Taylor-Joy subtly look like? Charlize
No, they
Theron?
didn't.
Well,
they
that's
didn't.
bullshit.
I
then.
know. That's what my
What's
wife.
the point of doing that then?
My wife had never seen Fury Road
Because Anya Taylor-Joy's an upgrade.
Yeah.
That is true. That is true. I do like her.
So, but yeah, my wife actually watched Furiosa. She's never seen Fury Road, and it like the end of the movie. Spoiler. This is a prequel to Fury Road. The end of it leads right into Fury Road.
Oh, no kidding.
Sweet.
So
That's
Chelsea's
cool.
like,
I might go see that tomorrow night with my old man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I don't think it's as good as Fury Road. I think the action is still great. It's a good.
I love that
flick.
world.
So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun.
Chris Hemsworth, I personally felt like I was worried he was going to be a Morton Joe like knockoff, but he's his own.
He's his own character.
And it's a lot of fun. So yeah, I had a good time.
I like
with
Chris
it.
Hemsworth.
I do too. Was this the first time you guys watched Pearl? I'm guessing since you never watched X, you haven't watched Pearl.
Watched it today.
Nice.
I had never even heard of Pearl.
Really?
I had heard of X.
Yeah.
But I'd
never heard
before
of
we had discussed it. I didn't even know. And like I said, I do like this movie better than X.
Right. Well, my icebreaker was X or Pearl because there is a subsect of people that like if they really loved X, then Pearl was not good, and then vice versa.
I could see that.
So yeah.
I mean, they're just two
different movies.
They're shot differently.
They feel different.
They feel different from the get-go. This one's more campy, I think. It feels like you're watching a horror cartoon, but live action.
Okay.
It just has that weird, like...
It's
feel to it.
It's like that old Disney live action cartoon splice.
Yeah, I agree. With a little Wizard of Oz in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So...
A lot of Wizard of Oz.
Yeah,
So-
that is actually funny. Are you going to say that X is black and white compared to this being in full color?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
totally it.
To
Yeah.
prepare for the tone of this movie, director and co-writer Ty West suggested that Mia Goth watch Whatever Happened to Baby Jane from 1962 and also The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's...
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Because she has that like la-di-da attitude in this.
For sure.
Like nothing bothers her.
No.
Until it does.
Until
Until it does.
And then you're like, oh, God.
I love the way that Dave's face just changed on that. It's like, nothing really bothers her until it does.
Oh, man.
Man, does it.
Does it ever?
Well, let's talk a little bit about the movie before we get
boy.
into spoilers.
Here I go killing again.
Yeah. Pearl has a runtime of 102 minutes. It premiered Venice September 3rd, also in 2022, and released September 16th, 2022. Pearl came out in March. This came out in September.
Really?
Yeah.
So
apart.
what made him wait so long for Maxine?
So here's the thing: is that the day after X, South by Southwest premiere, writer and director Ty West revealed that during a mandatory 2-week COVID-19 quarantine in his New Zealand hotel, so like after or before production could begin on X, he got with Mia Goth while they were kind of going over stuff for X. And then they came up with the prequel over Zoom for Pearl. And A24 saw the script as they were getting ready to shoot, and they immediately greenlit for Pearl to be made as well. And so they were able to shoot Pearl immediately after X had wrapped. And it was one of those things where it was like, they got it in, and it immediately got made right after they
Might have been
filming.
smarter to shoot Pearl first, and then
First.
Maxine, and then X.
Right.
Well, think about that, though. If you found a location that was run down and beat to shit,
That's
like
true.
like that farm was, would
Farm.
you want to fix it up first and
Yeah.
then destroy it again?
Right. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So yeah, that's how that was
pretty
made.
neat.
So it was pretty cool. It had a budget again of $1 million. So they spent $2 million between X and Pearl.
The
and
fact
then-
that they can make a movie of this caliber for $1 million
insane.
is mind blowing to me.
Yeah.
People
So-
are not doing it right.
No.
A24 has a formula, apparently,
Yeah.
that they
What,
they
being
can just-
smart about what you spend your money on?
Apparently.
I mean,
they're
'cause-
using a lot of unknown actors.
Yeah, but they're not subpar by any
No.
means.
No.
They're all really good actors.
Yeah.
Like, what a perfect launching, for... You have one actor that is maybe... Because
Yeah.
Mia Goth isn't like a
like
superstar.
Like you go back to Hereditary, you've got
Tony Collette.
Tony
I
Collette.
love her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And her husband was Gabriel.
Yeah.
Those two actors were the known people, and everybody else was just kind of
Yeah.
And then the
obscure, and
the son in that.
worked.
Was he in Jumanji yet?
I don't know. I
'Cause-
don't remember.
Okay.
I don't know either.
So anyway, Pearl grossed $10.1 million.
So not as much as X.
Not as much as X. X had 15, but this one got 10,
Do you
which
think-
is pretty. Yeah,
Do you think that X got more because of the content?
probably. Yeah, I would
And
assume
Jenna
so.
Ortega.
Yeah, and
I mean,
Brittany
it's
Snow.
Possible. Yeah, but
I
Jenna
mean,
Kid
Ortega
Cudi.
wasn't huge.
Now
back in
they
20
are blasting that down
now.
everyone's throat.
But
sure.
back in 2022, though,
I mean, she was up and coming.
yeah, I think she had done Scream, but she hadn't done Wednesday yet.
I think Wednesday came out pretty close. What,
Came out last year.
2023.
And then she was in Scream as well.
She's been
around that time.
been in
so.
at least two Scream movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not going to be in the new one. I'm worried about how the new one's going to be as a Scream fan, but yeah.
I hear it's like a complete new story.
Yeah, they had to rewrite everything. So, top box office for September 2022: The Woman King, Barbarian, Don't Worry, Darling, Bullet Train, Top Gun Maverick, DC Super Pets, Avatar: The Re-Release, The Invitation, Minions: Rise of Gru, and number 10 Beast. And Pearl landed the number 13 spot. A couple of facts about the movie. No spoiler is that Tandi Wright, who plays Pearl's mother, was actually the intimacy coordinator on X and was offered the role of Ruth as the shoot on the first film was wrapping up. Okay.
Nice.
She learned German for the role in a hurry and became so convincing in her accent that she fooled a lot of the German people that worked on
She
the
definitely
set.
sounded German.
Yeah,
Oh,
she did.
100%.
Her German was real good.
Yeah. You guys have anything to bring up before we get into spoilers?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Would you guys recommend people watch Pearl?
If you
And
watched
who?
X, you're doing yourself a disservice by not watching Pearl.
I agree.
I agree with that too. Yeah.
Pearl is better, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Same.
Not a lot, but better.
But
Yeah.
it fills in the gaps. So
Yeah.
what the hell's going on?
It makes X make a lot more sense.
yeah,
For sure.
I agree. A more complete world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fact that they lasted 24 hours is beyond me now.
Right.
Yeah.
No shit.
I
Because
would.
she wanted something.
Yeah.
Well.
She got it too.
Oof.
I would actually recommend more people watch Pearl than I would X, even though I think that if you watch one, you should
Pearl
watch
can
the
very
other one.
much be a standalone movie.
Definitely.
Yeah, but
So.
you won't appreciate the way the movie's shot as much if you haven't
you-
seen X.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well.
Because I was like, whoa! Like
Hey!
instantly, I was like,
For sure.
sensory overload.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
In
I
a good
think
way.
that Lee, I'm just going to be honest, I think you were putting off Pearl until the last minute.
No.
No?
No, I was going to watch it with Annie. I had a lot of scheduling conflicts this weekend.
Okay.
That I couldn't get it done. I've been trying to get my storage unit cleaned out, and it's been a nightmare. So
I got you.
I got it done today because we moved up recording, or I would have watched it tonight with Annie
I got you. Probably still could.
because she hasn't seen it.
Really? Would you recommend that she watch it?
Oh yeah. She didn't hate X. She said it was just okay.
Yeah.
And I think she'll like Pearl better. I go, it was different. I go, not a whole lot better, but different. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
she'll like it.
Cool. All right. Well, let's get into some spoilers on your count, Lee.
And go.
And here we are. Here's some trivia. What is the alligator's name?
Man, I couldn't hear it.
Two
It's Beta or
Togue.
something like that.
It's something with a T.
Yeah, Theta.
Theta. I knew it was
Yeah.
something with a T.
Whose face appears as the scarecrow?
The projectionist.
That's correct. What color bird do they have in the house?
Yellow.
That's also correct. Who did Pearl say she regretted killing?
Her dad.
That's correct. What is Pearl holding when Howard comes home?
A picture of
Lemonade.
green something.
It's lemonade.
Lemonade.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was a green picture. I know that.
Yeah. Bonus question. In what order does everyone die in the movie?
The
Die?
The project. Wait. The projectionist.
Okay.
Projectionist.
The mom.
No, the dad, then the mom.
Nope.
She was still alive down in the basement.
Oh, okay.
She was breathing.
Maybe. No, I disagree. I'm going mom, dad, Mitzi. That's it.
Okay. And you're-
Projectionist, dad, mom, Mitzi.
So it's projectionist, mom, dad, Mitzi. Because the scene you're talking about, she's
She is dead?
dead.
It looked like she was breathing to me.
Yeah. She just kind of imagines that.
I got you.
So, all right. Well, let's get into our spoilers discussion.
Sweet.
So this movie, like we said earlier, completely different opening
Flips the script.
than Pearl.
Yeah, it
we
opens
come out
like
of the
a
barn and it's
cartoon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
It's
white
the same shot.
rainbows
It's the
and-
same shot from X
X of the house.
of the house as it comes out, except everything's new.
and perfect. And the grass. And,
And everything's
mowed.
alive and everything's great, grand and wonderful.
Yeah.
And not all the awful crap has happened here yet.
For
No.
sure.
And yeah, it was night and day
Yeah,
watching this
fresh
one.
and new. Yeah.
yeah,
And,
everything has a fresh coat of paint on it.
Yeah.
Especially the barn.
Yeah,
Like,
the
it looks
barn was
perfect.
ridiculously red.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ridiculously red.
And we get like a singy show tune kind of vibe from the way that Pearl's dancing around,
Yeah.
and she's
Yeah.
got like super red lipstick on, and her hair's all
Perfect.
done up, and yeah.
Like a perfect little farm girl.
Stepford wife.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And we get introduced to her mom,
yeah,
who's German and
Super German.
super German and very strict.
yeah.
And then we get
I
introduced to her
believe that's
dad.
just German.
Yeah, yeah. She goes, go get your father, and he's in a wheelchair. He's has the Spanish flu. Is that what he got?
So yeah, both of these took place during COVID.
Yeah, it's
So-
because they wear masks in it, so it's very parallel to what was
Right.
happening
going on
at the time.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I was
he's
like, oh, look at this.
he's immobile and can't speak, can't
Right.
really do anything.
Before
can
she
barely
gets
chew.
before she gets to her dad, though, she stops to ask if she got any news, any mail from
Howard.
her husband, who's over in the war in
World War.
Europe.
Yeah.
Tells her no, and then she sees the paper and sees that the Allies have taken over France, and this could be the end of the war. And she says, "You can read it after dinner. I'm done hearing about dead Germans."
Yeah,
And she's taking it pretty hard that her
country is-
countrymen are taking it on the chin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she really can't do a whole lot about it.
No.
In the United States, she's
No,
got to
sure.
kind of mind her P's and Q's.
I mean, she even states that it's hard
Yeah.
for German farmers to be able to trade or anyone
Make a
buy
living at
anything
all.
from
Yeah.
them, you know. There's such animosity, which
That's what was the most unbelievable to me in this movie was the male figure of the house is incapacitated. Y'all would have been on the bread lines quick
yeah.
back in then because you didn't have savings. We
Right.
knew that. You know, it's 1918. You don't have
But also, there's
anything.
not much of a farm going on.
They've got
Yeah.
one
They
cow,
live- they
one
live
goat,
on
one
a-
sheep.
They live in a farmhouse,
Yeah.
Yeah.
not necessarily
A farm.
A farm.
Right.
Yeah.
But again, they don't really go into any of that where the money comes from.
No.
But you know that they are poor.
Yeah,
Definitely.
very tight on money.
Everything counts.
Yeah,
So
everything counts. So she
goes out in the
out to the barn.
barn and starts singing for
The cow
audience
and there's a sheep
Yep. And
Yep.
a goat.
and a goat. And then she was like, "Oh, what are you doing in here?" And it's the goose. I can't remember.
Well,
its name.
so
You didn't hear
she's
Mr.
singing
Goose?
and everything, and then the goose comes in, and the goose starts like quacking during her sing-song dance, and she's like, "Oh, look at that!
You interrupted me."
You interrupted my song and dance for all my little friends." She grabs the pitchfork and starts walking over, and
Like you're done, goose.
bye bye, Mr. Goose. Oh my
cooked.
And
goodness!
she comes walking out again, sing-songy.
Yeah.
Walking down to
With an impaled
the dock,
goose.
which is now like surrounded by flowers
Yeah.
and like
It's got a nice fresh coat of paint on it.
it's
Yeah.
pretty. And she starts calling for what's its name?
Theta.
Theta.
She's calling for Theta.
Theta. Yeah.
And Theta comes over and she feeds it the goose.
And so all of her farm animals are named after famous
Film
like,
legends.
during that time. So Theta played in Cleopatra, which they have a poster for her whenever she goes to
Oh,
the
okay.
projections.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because she does say that she's named them after famous actresses and actors or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Except the dog.
Oh, I didn't know we had a dog.
Yeah, we do. It's like, yep, you get to die now.
Oh, shit.
That is one thing too with this movie. It's a lot more tension filled, and it starts off with the goose just being like, "Yeah, sorry, Mr. Goose," and then bam, and I'm like,
Right.
"Oh
Fed to
shit!"
the gator.
So then we get the scene, right, of her in the bathtub with her dad in the room.
Right.
Where they're giving him steam is
Yeah.
what they're doing. And she says, I didn't want to waste the hot water, you know?
Yeah.
And so she's bathing with her father in the room who is paralyzed and
Yeah.
can't move, can't do anything.
Anything.
But
Barely
it's
can
still,
But still,
it's still a
you can still
it's still
see
a,
that he's in there.
it's
Yeah.
still a creepy scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the scene where she pinches his hand too?
No,
It
that's the
isn't?
second bath.
No. She pinches the hand in the first bath. The second bath is when she goes
She
up.
pinches him in the second bath too, and then
Does she?
after that she chokes him.
Yeah.
and she chokes him. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
so
know about
she's-
the first one.
she's
The first one, she's
abused-
flipping the water up with her leg.
Yeah,
and-
she
And-
abuses her dad though, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
like just to see if she can get a reaction out of him. And because she's not getting a reaction, I think that's why she stops.
Yeah.
Because the pleasure part of it's not there.
Right.
Like
No.
she's just like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Because we know how the movie's going to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we don't know necessarily how it's going to how things are going to happen with the
my
family.
biggest question was, where's Howard fit in?
Right.
Yeah.
The entire movie, I'm like, how is he going to react
Where's
to all
gonna
this? You
go
know,
on?
When's he showing up?
Yeah.
right?
Because you know he's coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, it was what's going to happen with the dad? Because you knew something bad was going to happen with this.
I had
poor
some
guy
ideas of what was going to happen to him.
Yeah.
But I mean, he actually got an easier route than
Yeah.
than what you thought.
than I thought what he was
Yeah.
going to get.
Yeah.
So the mom says, your father needs his medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Take the
Go get it.
10 cents or whatever
Yeah.
to town.
Go get his
Go
iodine.
get his, and it's morphine.
Or, yeah,
25
morphine.
cents for the morphine.
Yeah,
It's 2 bits.
2 bits.
For
Yeah.
the big bottle of morphine sulfate.
So she was supposed to have what
What a deal.
8 cents
Yeah.
left over or whatever.
Yeah.
But she sees the movies
Yeah.
instead,
and stops in.
and she's kind of sipping on a little bit of morphine.
Yep.
Yeah, she takes a little swig of it. But this is the first scene we get with everyone in their masks as well.
Yeah.
And so it's very like everyone's in the movie theater because everyone's afraid of the flu.
Yep,
And
the germ.
we get that COVID-19 feeling.
Yep.
That, I mean, these people really did go through that back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, everyone forgets about it, but
For
And
sure.
it was
It-
bad.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really bad. So then she's outside looking at the pamphlet. It almost looks
The
like
program.
a playbill, but it's a program for something Follies,
Follies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Palace Follies.
Palace Follies, and that's when the projectionist comes out.
So a lot of Palace Follies actually didn't come out until like almost 10 years. I think it was like 8 or 9. I looked it up. It's like 8 or 9 years later on. And also whenever she goes in and she's watching like the show and stuff like that back during that time there wasn't any voices or anything. They were all silent films.
Yep.
And so people kind of theorize that if after she drank some of the morphine, if she starts hallucinating and
it's possible.
Yeah,
because it had the war reel before the movie started, and it had sound and voice, and it wouldn't have had that.
Right.
Yeah, but
so I think a lot of the time, I thought that they played records as well.
Yeah.
Like the projectionist had two jobs of starting the sound.
Yeah.
They weren't combined on the film yet.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a cool little scene, and it kind of throwback to 1910s.
Very innocent.
Yeah.
Like you can see that that's her dream to be a movie star. And,
Right.
And then she's looking at that, and then we meet the projectionist, and that is his name in the movie is the projectionist.
Dash Johnny.
And you can tell he kind of takes a liking to her, and he's a good looking guy.
I thought he was going to be a real scumbag.
I did too.
But he wasn't.
He
was
really
like the most
wasn't.
likable guy
in
the entire
movie.
2 movies.
Yeah, agreed.
And I was like, man, this guy.
I mean,
I thought he was
even
going to be
Mitzi,
creepy, but
He had a little
he
bit.
had a little bit of creep, but he wasn't pushy with it.
He wasn't. No, he let her make
Come
the
to
move.
him.
Yeah,
And he's like,
He
hey,
knew.
he knew.
He knew.
anytime you want to come by, this is where I live. I'm
Yep.
here all the time.
Yep.
Anytime he wants to
So
pipe,
then we get the bike ride home.
He cuts up a little bit of film.
this is where it gets weird.
Oh yeah, I thought that was neat. And so having worked in movie theaters like for 10 years
Yeah.
and splicing movies and like doing all of that, that is such an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
Like to splice a little scene out of a movie. And yes, we have spliced stuff into movies before. That has happened. We have done that for sure. But now it's all digital.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you just put one frame in there, it just boop. I mean, super quick. But we totally did
Those
that.
poor kids.
Right?
You should have done something with just your face.
Right. Getting that 35 millimeter is not cheap, though.
I
Right.
know.
Yeah.
So he slices off, just a little
One
snippet,
cell.
hands it off to her.
Puts it in her little pocket, her little overalls.
And as she's driving, she's kind of pulls it out and it floats off away into a cornfield, and she runs to chase it down and comes across Mr. Scarecrow.
And this is very much
lonely.
Yeah, but this is a very almost stage theater
Right.
scene.
Right.
Like it doesn't feel outdoors. It feels like you're watching it on a stage.
It felt very Wizard of Oz.
Very.
Yeah.
So there's a scarecrow that is creepy AF.
Yeah.
But it looks real.
Yeah.
It's not, but it looked like a real, like I thought that the eyeball, because it has like ping pong ball eyeballs, but like a real face.
Mask, yeah.
Yeah.
It looked real. I thought those eyes were going to fly open at one point in
I
time.
did too. Oh my
But she
gosh.
crawls up and, pulls him down and
She starts yelling at him, and she's
Dancing
like, "I'm
with
a
him.
lady." Yeah,
dancing with, there's a big dance scene.
He takes it. Yeah, she takes the Scarecrow's hat off, and
So there's like an imaginary like dance scene, and then she lays it on the ground.
yeah,
She hallucinates.
she yells at him.
Couldn't be
first.
that morphine.
Well, she hallucinates that she sees the projectionist face.
And she screams, I'm married! And we get the first like, yee.
Okay, and,
And
then,
then,
you're married, but then,
She starts riding Mr. Scarecrow, and yeah, it's interesting.
Riding
to
Mr.
say-
Scarecrow,
she-
new band name, I called it.
So that is a scene I had to fast forward through.
Yeah.
I was like, I get the gist, and I fast forward
Let's go,
through
let's
it
go.
because Jack was playing the Oculus 2 feet from me.
Oh my
Right.
gosh.
But I mean, he's in his own little immersive world. But
Right.
I was like, oh my
Ooh.
God.
What's that Scarecrow
So
doing?
she comes back wearing the hat,
Yeah.
the top hat, and the mom is like,
Where'd you
That's
get that
take it
hat?
off.
Just
Yeah.
contaminated.
The
full of
least you
germs.
could get from that is lice. You know,
Yeah.
like
Right.
go. It has to
If
be
you're lucky.
quarantined. Now go wash your hair.
And then give your dad a bath.
And give him a bath.
Yeah, and
Don't let him sit in his own filth.
Yeah. She's chopping wood.
I mean that whole. I would just never make my kid do that. I know
Yeah.
that that's like a generational thing, but like that whole thing is flipping weird.
Yeah.
It's gross.
It's gross.
And here's the thing too.
You
is
wonder
that-
why something's wrong with her.
Yeah.
I mean, she's mentally ill, but
Yeah.
Obviously.
nothing made her this way. She was born this way.
But you also, I don't know. I was sympathetic for the mom, even though I wasn't supposed to be sympathetic. For
I wasn't.
The mom.
I throughout the entire movie, I was sympathetic with Pearl.
Really?
I don't know why.
Okay.
I was sympathetic with the mother
Yeah.
because
I
again,
was. I wasn't until
Everything
the cry
is
scene.
survival mode for her.
In
Yeah.
the cry scene, that's when I was like,
See, and I knew
damn.
it before that. I was like, this is survival mode. I go,
Yeah.
this is 1918. This is not
You don't
the
mess around.
50s or 60s.
Yeah.
You're
I just
not-
think that she could have handled stuff differently.
I do
like
too, yeah.
At dinner when she was like, "Where's my 8 cents?"
Yeah, I know that,
Again,
and that's where we're at now.
she's
That's what I'm
she's
saying.
German, man.
No, but
She's
that's
not
what I'm
pulling any
saying.
punches.
Like,
Yeah.
She was one of the most believable characters in both of the movies.
oh,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
And again, that's what I think is different between this movie and X is I cared about some characters in this movie.
Same. Yeah.
As I did not in X.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, they're sitting down at dinner, and did she already give Dad a bath? And is this
Yeah.
where she
Yeah.
like does the strangle?
Yeah, she's in the bathtub and she reaches up and she pinches his hand. It
Pretty hard.
makes it really noticeable, and he doesn't react. And she goes up and grabs his neck and
Starts
squeeze,
squeezing.
and it's the real squeeze. Like she's
Yeah.
squeezing the inner parts of the neck, and he kind of makes him and then she just lets go. It's such a bizarre scene.
Oh, yeah.
But this is when this is like the perfect. She is straight up moved from animals to humans. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
she's a
done
serial
with her
killer.
she's done with her experimental phase.
Yeah.
It's
She
time to
wants to
move
know
on
what
to
it
the big
feels like.
game.
Yeah.
Mom starts asking, "Hey, where's the 8 cents? I'm not stupid. I know that
I might have
I
had
should
some
have had
candy
some
on the way
change."
home.
Okay, well, if you had candy, then save that supper for tomorrow. And
Since it
Pearl's
wasn't
like,
good enough for you, this meal that I made by myself.
Right. Yeah.
Kind of harsh.
It was, but again, I don't know.
I get it.
Yeah. Same.
So it's the next day, and Mitzi shows up,
Yeah.
and Mitzi's mom,
Which
who
is
we
Howard's
find
mom.
out is Howard's mom and Howard's sister. And Mitzi comes down and says, "Hey, church group is trying to hire some dancers. They're going to go through 7 states,
Yeah.
and we'll be able to perform, and like it's a good step." Which, after the audition, I was like, "You sure you want to go with these people? Because they do not like they're
Right.
fun at all." But Mitzi's like, she was like, "I want to audition." She goes, "You should come with me."
Yeah.
Do
it.
And then they look over and they see that the mom, Mitzi's mom, is trying to give Ruth a pig,
Yeah.
like a cooked
To
pig.
eat, yeah.
And she's like, "We don't take charity." And they put the pig on the porch, and that pig
And it
stayed
sits
there.
the rest of the
Days.
Days, baby.
Yeah.
Days.
And we get
Yeah, I think that that's a little silly,
Yeah.
But
Right.
yeah, we don't take charity. They leave the pig there. Take it inside, eat it. Why waste it?
Right?
right. Give it to the
Give me a
farm
pig.
animals at
Yeah,
least.
go give it to-
Go feed it to the pig.
Go feed it to
Oh,
the
whoa.
alligator.
Yeah, give it to Theta.
Theta.
They don't have a pig. That's why you can't feed it to the pig.
Yeah. You mean a dog?
They don't have that either.
Right. We did miss a scene earlier where when Pearl's kind of up dancing around and whatnot with her mom's dress, her mom's like, "Yeah, we're not doing that. You need to go put my dress
Yeah.
up."
Who told you you
and-
could wear my old stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're not doing that at
can't
all.
do that. Go put your overalls on and feed the animals
Like
and
you
do your
promised.
chores. Yep.
Mitzi and her mom leave, and Pearl starts having thoughts of grandeur where she's
Yeah.
imagining herself.
Delusions.
Yeah. Delusions of
of
grandeur. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
And
Captain Solo.
I don't know
She goes that night. She gets one of her mom's dress on. I thought she was going to.
I thought she was going to the
audition,
audition, but I'm
but
like,
she-
okay, it's not going to be at 11 o'clock at night in 1918.
right.
Right.
So it can't be the audition.
Right. So she gets her.
No, not yet.
No, she gets her dress on and her top hat, and she sneaks out of the house and goes and sees the projectionist,
Yeah.
who then shows her.
The porn.
And it's the next day. So he was like, "I wasn't expecting to see you again so soon." She tells him
about the audition.
about the
the
audition,
audition.
And he said, "It's a great idea."
You want to see a film that no one's ever seen?" And he shows her the porn.
Yeah.
And I still don't think anything has happened.
No, she gets up. She goes, I have to
That's
go.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she goes, "I have to go," and
Yeah.
she goes back.
Sneaks back in. She hears her mom crying.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
that's
the
right.
night that
And
she
she
has
opens
her
up the
mom
door,
crying.
and then she goes back to bed and listening to her mom cry.
Which was,
You know.
heartbreaking.
Yeah. I mean, what do you expect?
And then the next morning, she's talking to her dad, and she's like, "Why don't you take your dad for a walk?" Or so she's like,
Oh,
"Daddy, I'm
yeah,
gonna
I
take you
forgot
for a
about
walk."
this.
Takes him down to
And
the,
so she takes him down to the
dock.
and she's kind of
She's gonna kill
dangling.
him. She's gonna kill him.
Yeah, she's like, "I'm just."
She even says it.
yeah. I'm sorry, Daddy. We
This
just
is
can't
no
do this
life
one
for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
This
not
ain't
good
no way to
enough.
live.
Yeah,
then mom
And Ruth
comes
shows up
behind
and
her.
she's like, "Pearl, that is dangerous."
What are you doing?
I'm just talking to Daddy.
I hate you, Mama. You ruined
No,
everything.
what she said was, "Why don't you love me?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or "Why do you hate me, Mama?"
Yeah. Why do you hate me, Mama? That scene is intense.
It's rough because you know that Dad's gonna die at some point, and
Right.
yeah, that was potential death.
But he's looking down at the water too,
Yeah.
like shit.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm gonna get.
He knows what's
he's in there. He just can't function.
Right.
Yeah. And Ruth hands her the
playbill.
Playbill.
and they
That's
get
right.
into a huge argument.
Fight.
Yeah.
And that's where she gets burned.
Her mom catches on fire, and Pearl throws the boiling
Boiling
water
water.
of corn on her mom to put her out.
her out.
I'm sure it was warm or colder than
Awful.
the
Yeah.
fire that she was. You know what I
Possibly.
mean?
Yeah.
Has her on the floor.
and
then
just
she takes-
chucks her downstairs.
She
Yeah.
just chucks her down the stairs. The dad's eyes are like super
Oh,
wide, like,
shit.
oh my God.
What
yeah.
am I gonna do?
Yeah, it's not good.
And then she runs back to the projectionist.
But Ruth, I mean, the argument is that she's noticed Pearl.
Yeah.
Like, I've noticed you doing all this stuff.
All
when
the
you
bad things.
when you think people aren't looking, people are looking, and I've seen you do all the bad things.
Awful
Yeah.
things. And she does say a line where she's like, what's going to happen if you hurt somebody again? Or something along those lines.
Yeah.
Like, it's not the first time.
Right.
Right.
And
And nothing's ever been
And
good
she-
for her. And, you know.
she's upset because every time she looks into her eyes, she sees a failure.
And it's when she calls her you're my biggest failure.
Yeah, my big-
that
yeah.
it goes down.
When you go to this
Boom.
audition and you fail, you'll know what it's like to be me, because every time I look at you, that's how I feel.
And then she leaves her dad in the dining room.
Yeah. So,
And
yeah.
she flies to the movie theater where
Yep.
she has sex with a projectionist.
Yep.
and spends the night.
Spends the night.
Overnight.
Leaves her dad at
Yeah.
the dining room table.
Leaves her dying mother at the bottom of the stairs.
The projectionist drives her home,
Yep.
Yes.
and she was like, "Give me 1 minute," and she runs
goes in,
inside
kind of cleans some stuff up.
and sees that her mom had
Worked her way back-
Worked her way back up.
Up to the door.
Right?
And
She
no,
was
not
worked
yet.
she had worked her way to the door of the
Cellar.
cellar.
Yeah, she hadn't. She doesn't
But she
go
doesn't
down
go
there
down there
yet
until the
because
end
it's
of the
the
movie.
thudding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she
Cleans her dad
cleans
up.
her dad up,
Doses him.
doses him, puts him in with the bird in the living room.
Yep. And then takes him upstairs to try to get it on again.
Yeah.
And
starts
he's like,
making-
this is weird.
Yeah.
There's
and then,
Something's off.
You've changed. There's something going on.
Yeah.
banging,
And then he can
and-
hear the knocking.
The thudding. He
And
goes,
he
I can't
sees
ignore
the-
this. It could be your dad. Like, what is happening? You know?
and
What's
he
wrong with
sees
you?
the pig too outside, and the pig at this point
Had maggots on it.
has maggots.
Yeah,
on
he's
it,
like,
so-
what the hell?
Yeah, what's going on?
And so she
there's-
says it's the dog. Sorry, we put him in I put him in the basement.
that's what's making the banging.
Yeah.
And oh, okay.
And she says, I want to show you something. And she takes him to the barn.
To the barn.
Yeah. And
Names off all of her animals.
and he was like, well, what's your dog's name? And she goes, well, we don't
I
have
don't
a
have a
dog.
dog.
And
And I was like, oh, no.
then he's like, well, look at the time.
Yeah.
Time to get
And
out of here.
she starts losing her shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
she-
it's kind of a build-up, and this is one of my favorite conversations in the movie because both of the conversations are build-ups where the characters are like, oh, yeah, I should probably go. But they're smart enough to where they're like, they make something up of like, oh, yeah, I need to get back to the projectionist. They're like, is everything good? And you're just like, yeah, it's fine.
all
And she's
good.
like, no, I feel deeply and something's wrong. He's like, yeah, no, I really just need to go. Everything's good.
And she's like, don't lie to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's
And
like, you're scaring
You're
me.
scaring me. And he goes all the way up to
to the truck.
the truck. And she comes up and she's like, why don't you love me?
Well, you see that she's not behind it. Like the
Yeah.
camera shows that she's not there anymore. And she's right next to him.
Yes.
Like where the camera is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she, why don't you love me? And then takes a pitchfork and boom, right in his chest. You're like, oh my God.
And then he
Hard
starts.
You would have to push a pitchfork to get it through someone's chest.
If it's a sharp pitchfork.
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
I don't know.
Oh,
But she didn't swing it lightly.
no, she doesn't. She's got some grip behind that
But
thing.
she pushes the car into the pond.
No, so here's another thing too is that he's like starts spitting up blood and then somehow he has it in drive or something and he's starting to drive away with this giant ass pitchfork in his chest and she runs over and chases it down. She opens the door and he falls out and she picks up the pitchfork and she's still kind of yelling at
and
him.
stabs-
And then
oh.
she pulls it up. And then she screams at him one last time, and then the camera angle is of you just looking up and Pearl standing over you with this giant ass pitchfork, and she drives that thing right back down and
Into his mouth.
Yeah, right.
It
into
shows
his
it. It's a
mouth.
side view and it
he's
goes
like,
directly into his mouth. Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, yeah. Woo!
Murderous.
Goodness. Yeah. Like the first kill was the accident between the mom because the mom
Yeah.
catches on fire.
Yeah.
But this was like,
This
yep,
is
Pearl's on the deep end.
Yep.
Yep. She's gone.
Full
But
on
this is where
offensive
she like
mode.
feeds Theta.
Jumps.
Like she's like she pushes him in, and
Yeah.
damn, I mean, and then she goes inside and gets dressed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ready
She's
to
gotta
go.
get
She's
ready
right.
for her
audition. Yeah. So she runs and puts her mom's nice outfit on, meets Mitzi at the church.
Right before that, she pushes the mom because the mom crawls back up. She goes over and she like yeets mom back down into the cellar again. And yeah, seriously.
Throwing
And
my luggage downstairs.
she cleans the dad up and then smothers him to death and says, "Daddy, I wish it wasn't like this, but I gotta go." And the dad is one of the heartbreaking things. You see a tear just kind of roll down Dad's cheek because he knows exactly what's gonna happen. And yeah, she smothers him with a pillow.
Yeah.
And that was a really hard scene to watch too.
Yeah, I mean, and she does say it later on that that's the one kill that she regrets. You know,
Here we are back to
we go to the church,
we go to the church.
and she has that 10-yard stare.
Yeah.
And she's talking to Mitzi. Mitzi's like, "I saved a seat for you. I'm so glad, like
Right.
you finally you're here." And she says, I have to get this.
I have to.
It's like,
And she goes, "Well, yeah, if
you didn't mean to say that out loud.
Yeah, if it's either
it has to be me.
it
has to be me.
Yeah.
Well, if it's not going to be me, I hope it's you, right? It has to be me.
It has to be me.
me.
Yeah,
can't
she
be
never
you.
stops staring. Like
She never turns her head.
she's
Yeah.
stared straight forward.
Yeah.
And she's going through.
She's
it
on
in
a
her
mission.
head. Yeah.
And
Singular focus.
Mitzi is like, "I'm just too nervous, Pearl. Can you go ahead of me?" And Pearl goes in, and you get kind of like a cool dance sequence.
You
know
do.
what I'm saying?
I agree with that. But also, I knew right when she walked in, like, oh man, these are some rough. That's a rough crowd.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
It-
uptight.
And everybody,
Uptight city.
every girl that was walking out before
Was
that
crying.
are just crying.
Right.
So
And they say that they're only taking one girl
One
from
girl.
each town.
yeah.
So she goes in, and we have kind of a Napoleon Dynamite dance scene,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Where she's dancing, and they even say like that's some of the best dancing we've seen. But
We're looking for someone a
Looking
little
for
bit more
all
American.
American,
Blonde.
blonde,
Younger, blonder.
right?
And it's
Not
cool
you.
because she imagines herself being on the road, and there's a whole
No, yeah.
dance sequence with people coming out, and
She's a big star.
yeah, she's gonna be a star,
So the next thing we get is her. She's screaming.
screaming. And,
She's like, "Give me another chance," and she's screaming at them.
and she's looking into the crowd, and she sees her mom burnt to a crisp.
Yeah,
And
as
it's-
one of the judges, as
Yeah.
one of the audition.
And again,
Well, during the dance scene, she's looking out and she sees her mom, her dad,
Right.
the
Yeah.
projectionist,
And it's all disappointment.
yeah.
Yeah.
Her mom takes the mask off and her face is all funk from the
Yeah.
burn.
She
and-
shows her teeth and
Yeah. Not great.
not great.
Nope.
So then we get her crying outside the church.
Yeah.
And Mitzi walks up.
yeah, she
And
comes
she's like-
out and she's like,
She's like, "I'm so sorry. I know how much you really wanted this." And she was like, "Let me give you a ride home."
"Are you sure? Well, what else is a stepsisters, or what is it?
They kept saying that throughout that whole thing.
You gotta
is
look out for each other.
Stepsisters have to look
Sister-in-laws.
out for each other.
Sister-in-laws have to look out
have
for
to
each
stick
other.
together
Yeah,
and look out for each other. So
we get back to
we
the
get
house.
back to the house.
And Mitzi's like, "Is that our hog sitting
Yeah.
up front?"
Is that
Yeah.
a pig?
Because
Yeah,
it is
it's
covered in maggots.
Disgusting.
Yum.
Yeah, completely eaten through with maggots.
So good.
So they go in, and I can't remember where she says her mom and dad are. She doesn't really.
No, she doesn't.
They're sitting
She
and they're
completely
sitting
ignores
at
them.
the. She's like, "Let me get you something to drink," and they're sitting at the. And this is one of the best monologues.
Yes.
Yes.
This
It
was the
is.
best monologue I've seen. In
Oh my gosh, it is.
She nails this so well.
I think. I feel like it's free flow. I feel like she was given direction. You have to hit this, 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 and this because it does not sound scripted.
No.
it
Yeah.
sounds like
And
it is.
it was
from
one take.
one take from the heart,
Yeah.
and
She killed it.
It's a 7.5 minute scene, and then the 5.5 of those minutes, there's no cuts in it. It is just
The
focused
camera
on
on
her.
her
The entire
talking
time.
about how
And
all she's
talking
ever
to
wanted.
Howard.
Well-
Because Mitzi says, you talk to me like I'm Howard,
Yeah.
right? And tell me what you want to
Howard
tell
to
me,
know.
and then we can practice.
Yeah.
And she never breaks it. Like Mitzi becomes Howard. You don't see Howard, but she is talking to Howard.
Yeah. And she doesn't even acknowledge Mitzi when Mitzi tries to stop the conversation.
Yeah.
Or,
Because Pearl lets it all out.
Yeah.
every bit.
And even things that the audience doesn't know up to that point. And it almost feels like she's talking directly to the audience at some point in time,
definitely,
too. And
definitely.
It is one of the best character development scenes in a movie. It's so good.
It really is. So
that
good.
scene made the movie for me.
Oh, so good. I remember sitting there like with my jaw. I was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah,
like,
I'm sitting there watching it. And I'm just like,
good.
I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm just like, I'm glued. This girl's just
Killing
pouring her
it.
heart out.
Yeah.
Like this
She
is.
says she
the
didn't want to live
real
on the
meat.
farm. She describes a meeting. She says that, I was going to go live with you and your family, and you guys live in this rich, glamorous house. And then you got here and you never wanted to leave, and you wanted to live on the farm, which killed her.
Smacked me in the face, basically.
Yeah. And then she
talks
started
about her
killing stuff and how it's
unborn. Well,
her unborn
She had a
kid,
Yeah.
She had a
a miscarriage.
and she was
animals,
happy
and
that it ended up dying because she couldn't think.
she couldn't be responsible for an
another
adult because life terrifies her.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's hard and
She started with
cruel.
small things and then slowly worked her way up and like killings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Mitzi, you forget Mitzi's even there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, for a solid, 5 minutes?
5 and a
the
half,
camera is on her, and then you turn to Mitzi and you see this she's
Deer in the
looking,
headlights.
she's looking down. She's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay, well, I think I better go.
Yeah, no.
I was like, Mitzi,
No.
you're blowing it.
Run away.
Well, no, I wasn't even
Mitzi.
saying that. I was like, you got to play along.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You got to play
and
along.
she does play along. She's
But
like,
if she would have just said sister-in-law stick together and I won't tell anyone,
Yeah.
and I'll help
That's
you
what
with
she did.
whatever
No,
you
but
want.
she
No,
didn't.
she never says
She
those
never
words.
said she wouldn't say anything.
Yeah.
She just said, sure.
She never says it, I promise, because I was waiting for her to say those words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going, if you just say those, everything will be okay. Because I was expecting her to say it and
Mm-hmm.
be able to leave.
Pearl says it.
Pearl-
Pearl says it.
that's
If
right.
Mitzi would have said it, she would still be alive.
She didn't repeat it.
Right.
Like right back to her, and right as soon as she said sister-in-law's got to stick together,
Right.
and she doesn't repeat it, and she's
she
like,
knew. She was like, you're going to tell.
"That's
And
it.
This
You have to die."
This is my favorite death scene.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
it is amazing how they do it.
Here's another thing is that after that whole monologue, tonal
Yeah, she
facial
switched.
change
She
of
switched.
Pearl.
Her
and
face
she's
drops.
Like, yeah. And she's
Yeah.
like, so you don't have to lie to me anymore. You could just tell me you got the part, right?
Yeah.
And then
Mitzi did
Mitzi's
not
like,
get the
oh,
part.
no, I didn't get it. And she's like, no, you don't have to lie to me. I know
like,
you got the part.
But Pearl, you can tell she did not get the part.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mitzi's like, yeah, I did get the part. I'm so sorry. And she kind of goes along with it. And yeah, I'm with you guys. I don't think that she actually got the part. I think that she
was trying to-
realized what's going on, and
she had to admit to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
and Mitzi starts walking.
just more of her paranoid schizophrenia.
Mitzi should have told her outside the church, but she also didn't know that Pearl was a serial killer.
Yeah,
You
right.
know what I mean? If she would have just said, I didn't get the part either, what
Yeah.
do these people want?
I
You
would
know?
have come out crying.
Yeah.
But
But
the
you don't
fact
really,
that
you
she
don't know
didn't-
Pearl's a serial killer
I
either.
don't care. After sitting there with her and her saying it has to be me.
Right.
Nope, I didn't get it. I don't even know that I would have auditioned.
Yeah.
So
So Mitzi's is
the best. It's such a great shot.
It is.
So you see from the screen door Mitzi come out, and then you see Pearl come up to the door, slowly open it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
slowly walk over to the hatchet, the axe.
Picks it up.
It's super slow, and Mitzi starts taking off running, and she's like, "Help me, help me!" And Pearl never really runs
No.
No, not till she falls.
until Mitzi falls, and,
And
then
then she
Pearl
closes the
sprints.
gap.
Ooh,
Quick.
But it is a solid 45 seconds of the scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's all right. The end of the movie is
It's
the best part of the
Texas
movie.
Chainsaw.
For
I
sure.
mean, it's so
It's so
good.
good.
It's Texas Chainsaw
Because-
Massacre,
yeah.
but with a
She-
hatchet.
She had the perfect serial killer walk, not run. I'm gonna catch you.
yeah,
Yep.
I'm
you're as
gonna
good as
get you.
caught.
Yeah, you
over.
might as well just fall down now.
Don't die tired.
So then we get the
kind of montage, and it's cool cinematography. They kind of split the camera up to where it's mirrored, and it's scary. Pearl's
it's
cleaning
very realistic.
Yeah.
Pearl's cleaning up everything, and she's
Chopping bodies
She
up.
chops
bodies
Mitzi's
up.
head off, and it is it's very
Ooh.
realistic.
Yeah.
And her arms,
Arms
and
chopped
she's
up.
feeding them to the alligator, and
and she's
It
cleaning
was
up.
rough.
it's really
And
bad.
she starts getting dinner together for her family.
Yeah, the
and
pig.
The pig.
Yeah,
and
she
then
sets
she
her,
starts
she sets her mom up and her dad up, and she's sitting there.
Mixes up and dresses him up, and yeah.
And then it cuts to just an undisclosed time later. But time had passed because the pig is like
Obliterated.
yeah, it's like gone because of the maggots.
Yes.
And the parents look worse. And you see Howard walking up to the farm.
Yeah.
And he walks and he's like, hello. And he walks in and he sees him sitting at the kitchen table. And the camera turns and she's where she was when she came out with the lemonade from X.
Yeah.
Yep.
She's in the exact same spot. And she's like, lemonade? And then...
So glad you're home.
So glad you're home. And then it goes to what?
Credits.
The whole credits. But the entire time she's smiling.
Yes.
And then it gets harder for her to smile and harder, and she looks like she's gonna cry.
She does cry.
and
a little bit.
it never stops, and then it cartoon
Yeah.
circles
Yeah.
to black.
Fade to black. Oh,
That's it.
It was a good movie. I liked it.
Pearl's deranged smile that carries on through the end credits was unplanned, with Ty West refusing to call cut and let the emotions play out. Mia Goth's smile becomes more strained and a tear falls down her face, and she even does an impatient head shake as she waits for Ty West to call cut.
Brilliant.
So
It
he
was.
didn't know.
it
Yeah.
was brilliant.
The last 10 minutes of this movie make the movie for me.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
If X would have been more like that, like throughout the entire,
Movie.
like just that perfect, because that Mitzi kill was scary.
Oh, yeah.
It was brutal.
Yeah.
It's brutal. God.
I just like the fact that they didn't go over the top with it. Like she hit her, and you could tell that she hit her, but it wasn't a deep hit.
No, enough to
It
knock
was-
her down.
It was enough to hurt her.
And
but-
she hits her multiple times.
Yeah, and she could have survived from that easily because they didn't seem like they were very mortal wounds
No.
No.
in the back. You've got a lot of protection back there, but you're begging for your life, and she just comes down with
Swinging.
that axe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
I was like, oh, poor girl.
All
What a
right.
waste.
Yeah. Any final thoughts on the movie?
No,
think we hit it.
I found it more enjoyable than X.
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't hate X. I just think it's more enjoyable.
For sure.
Like
I would
it was
agree.
more of a cinematic experience.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think
It
that,
didn't feel like a slasher movie. at all.
No, but I think that monologue is
Yeah.
Killer.
up there with some of the best acting I've seen.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. You don't feel like it's scripted. It feels
visceral.
very real.
It's visceral.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you guys excited for Maxine?
No,
No.
Meh.
I'm not because I've seen the previews for it,
I haven't seen the previews
and I'm
for it
just
yet.
like, meh. I
Okay.
don't know. We'll
I
see.
gotcha. Yeah. See how it plays out.
Yep. You want me to do it?
Yeah. Go
All right,
for it.
So our rating system is as follows. We have an S through F class. S being the top rated, perfect film, no gripes, just something that you're always going to want to watch. We only have 10 slots for them. We have 2 occupied with The Exorcist and The Way Back. If we get more than 10, we'll have to vote something out. Make
Shit,
it-
at this rate, it's gonna be years.
Oh, yeah. Which I kind of figured that's how it was going to go. I was
Yeah.
surprised we got 2 this quick,
Yeah.
but I think it'll be a long time before we reach 10.
Yeah, I agree.
So then we have A, which is your top-notch movie. Might have one little gripe here and there, but still very good. B, your above-average film. Couple of gripes here and there, nothing major. Rewatchability. C, your average film. Could be good, could be bad, could watch it again, could not. Just your average film. D is dog crap. It's probably got 1 redeeming quality, maybe 2. You're not going to want to watch it again unless it's just forced upon you.
Yeah.
And then F is just completely irredeemable garbage. Don't watch it. You're wasting
Yep.
your time. Haven't had any of those yet.
No.
No.
No. So that was good. So for me, for Pearl, I did enjoy it more than X. I did care about the characters in this one. Again, that monologue made the movie for me.
Yeah.
It was powerful. I'm still not going to rate it super high. I'm going to give it just a B.
Okay.
I liked it. It was, like I said, better than X. I'll probably watch it with Annie again.
Yeah.
Just because she wants to watch it.
Yeah, this one is very
Yeah.
rewatchable.
If she's not watching it right now, which she may be doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I give it a B.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm up there. Again, I love the way the movie was shot.
Same.
I love how perfect it feels, even though you know some shit's about to go down. One thing we did forget about to talk about, though, is the alligator egg.
Yeah.
We forgot about that.
We did.
Again, that was one of the scenes that I didn't understand. I get you taking the egg. I get that part. I get you wanting to destroy the egg. Then why did you put it up on...
Because I think that was her fight with herself. She wanted to take it to keep it, right?
Right.
Like, to maybe hatch it.
Right.
And then she
The
changed her
very next
mind.
day, she's just like,
Yeah.
I don't get it.
It was the same scene, wasn't it?
No.
It wasn't?
No, it was the next day.
I felt
Yeah.
like it was the same
Like,
scene.
because she put it up there, and she came back the next day in different
Because she's
clothes.
Pearl.
Yeah, she's weird.
So, but anyways, the acting, I have no complaints about the acting in this movie.
No.
I think it was great. I think the scenes were neat, and I'm not a big, like, artsy, but I liked them.
Yeah.
I thought the scarecrow scene was really neat. I thought the dancing was really neat. The monologue was spot on and perfect. And I do recommend this. I think this is a good movie.
Yeah.
So I'm going B+ on this one.
B+. Okay. I'm going to kind of echo everything you guys have just said. I was most impressed by Mia Goth and the mom. You know, those two, I think, knocked it out of the park. I felt there was so much more tension in this movie just because it was kind of a slower paced movie than X was, and you have less characters. X, you knew going in, it's going to be a slasher. People, these guys are going to die. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whereas this one, you knew people were going to die, but
you
yeah,
didn't necessarily know
Right.
No.
who was going to die.
exactly, or how things were going to play out.
Yeah.
The only person that you knew were going to make it is Howard and Pearl, but we didn't see Howard till the very end.
And we still don't know, how did Howard take all that? How did he, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
How did he overlook it?
he walked into some madness.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And
10th
he makes
level
it,
madness.
he makes it all the way into his upper 80s, is what I would guess. You know, well, I mean, look, it's 19,
He's probably 20.
1918, so that's 70 years.
Yeah, he's probably 90.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, 1970s. So
Yeah.
yeah, he's
And he's probably
least
in his
71 years, or
70
61
or-
years later. He probably was 20 when
Yeah.
he went over there.
so he's in
about
his 80s.
Late
yeah.
80s.
Yeah.
so
That's probably where
crazy.
she is.
Yeah.
insane. So I'm looking at somewhere probably B+ for me. If
Yeah.
I'm being honest, I really
So
enjoyed
B+,
it.
B+, and B. So we're
Yeah.
going to give it a B+.
B+.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Sounds good.
Cool. Good recommendation.
Not
Thank
bad.
you.
It was refreshing. It was something different than I really wasn't excited for it.
Right.
And then as soon as I started watching X, I was like, okay. And then as soon as Pearl started, I was like, okay,
I'm down.
I can get into
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
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 Because you're going from such a dark movie to such a bright
Just to
movie.
go from if you just look at the posters.
Oh yeah.
For
Oh
two
yeah,
movies, it's
it
like,
has the 20s
what the
vibe
hell
to
is
it.
going
Yeah.
on here?
Right.
But,
Yeah. It's an extraordinary origin
It
story.
is.
Sure.
Very
Well,
extraordinary.
cool. Well, until
Cool.
next time.
Until next time.
All
Sounds
right.
good.
Oi, oi.
Oh, this
Oi, oi. Yeah, this
podcast is bullshit.
Hello and welcome to the Postcast. I wanted to say thank you to all our loyal and new listeners. Shout out to all our new listeners and subscribers on YouTube. We recently passed the 200 sub mark. Thanks for helping us and supporting us on this journey. We invite you all to check out our Facebook group or check out our Reddit sub. If you're listening on YouTube, give us a like, subscribe, and tell us what you think the movie should be rated. And follow us wherever podcasts are found. Look for our next episode Monday, June 17th, as we have a new guest on the show to talk about The Burbs. We hope you've enjoyed our program just as much as we did recording for you. Thank you, and stay tuned for our next episode.